And most of us, you used a phrase earlier on in this conversation, which really stuck with me because I've used this phrase with my friends over and over again. You said you got to see behind the curtain. And I remember the first moment in my life where I really felt like I got to see behind a curtain that I didn't even know was there. For anyone listening to this podcast, there's a curtain on my right. For anyone watching, you can see the curtain on my right. Behind that curtain, there is actually a room in there. And there's actually another studio in there where we record some content. It's kind of like a standing up studio. We've got some backdrops and stuff like that. But the analogy that I'd give you is in life, you never know how many other rooms there are behind the wall. And there was a point in my life where I started understanding deals and the public markets and how certain high net worth individuals were playing what I call money games. They were basically not doing much work, but they understood the laws of money, so they could buy things at an arbitrage or flip things at an arbitrage and put them on the public markets and all of these crazy money games that no one had ever told me about in life. I thought the way you build wealth is by working. And these fuckers, the richest people I know, do very little working and they do a lot of money games. And they live behind the curtain that I didn't even know was there. And I was thinking about the cab driver there. There's so many... What is behind the curtain? Behind the curtain is a bunch of information. That's essentially what it is. You know, a bunch of people that have a bunch of information. What I might say to that cab driver is like, who can take you behind the curtain? Even if you have to go get a shit job for 6 months. Like you were alluding to it there. Like, is there a guy or a woman that I could go just shadow, just make the fucking tea and get behind the curtain and figure out how they do it? Like if you wanted to be the best podcaster in the world or you wanted to be a good podcaster, you go ask Joe Rogan if you can go clean the floors.
100%.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to work their way there, but so much in life is about information, right? And the information you don't even know that you don't have.
Oh yeah.
When did you see behind the curtain? Well, you worked in finance. So that's unfair.
Yeah, I think it is a hack. I saw behind the curtain for the first time when I had managers and bosses who were making tens of millions of dollars a year. And I realized how little they worked, like you said, but also how average they were. You know, I saw these largely, middle-aged dudes who were no more impressive than I was, and they were crushing it. And instead of having envy or hate for that, I was super curious. I'm like, this guy can do it. That means I can do it. And I think that's a huge unlock, actually. I was talking with another friend the other week, and I think one of the secrets to success might be when you see somebody who has more, who is doing better, who has more money, realizing that means that you can get it as opposed to, I hate them because they have it. If you can flip that mindset, on the other side of that lives nothing but opportunity. And I keep finding new rooms in the house, new curtains behind it. And I'm not sure that will ever stop. I mean, I was talking to my friend Bill Perkins the other day, who's a hedge fund manager. And Bill is very successful, huge, compound house we're walking around at. I'm like, this place is pretty nice. And he said to me, Codie, do you think that because you've been around small business for so long, small has infected your thinking? And I was like, oh God, I don't know. But then I realized to him it had, because he's got way more zeros than I do. And so like those zeros become unlocks to the curtain. I mean, the other day I was flying here yesterday, and I sat next to Jeffrey Kent, the CEO and founder of Abercrombie & Kent. And he built that business up to multiple billions of dollars before selling it. He played polo with the king, is quite close with King Charles, and also has traveled the world, came from nothing in South Africa, was in a town in South Africa where there are only 100 white people, which is fascinating. Mostly was barefoot all throughout his childhood, and created the luxury travel market, essentially. And I was just sitting next to him on the airplane, and I kind of looked at his watch, and I was like, that's a nice watch. And I sort of looked at his mannerisms, and I was like, I just have a feeling this guy is worth a lot of money. And so I started chatting with him.